I know there's nothing I could say or do to change the course of time and what happened. What I did, I know was wrong. I wish I could take it back, but I can't. I just know that I have to move forward, and the seeds that y'all planted have helped me tremendously. I thank y'all for giving me a second chance at life.
YouTube Streets Podcast. You already know what it is, man. New age plug. We got the Woody Wood himself, New Life with Woody, in the building for a one-on-one, man. This is going to get crazy. Let's go. What up, Wood?
What's up, man? How you doing, man? Salute to everybody watching, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man.
I'm pumped up for this because, listen, if you don't know who Woody is, he came in the game headstrong because, obviously, Jay Williams, we're going to get into that. But another reason is because Blood on the Razor Wire, you did an interview with him, and your channel itself, it's just taken off. He's a newcomer in the prison genre because he just got out of prison. I mean, it's only been, 10 months?
Yeah, no, a little bit over that, like 14 months, but who's counting, bro?
Right, yeah, who's counting because you're never going back, baby. Let's go.
Never that.
So let's start from the beginning, man. Where are you from, Woody? Like, where were you born?
Man, I was originally born in Pennsylvania, man, outside of Philly. Yeah, absolutely. I was born outside of Philadelphia, man. Place called Allentown, man, where Billy Joel's from.
You were born there. Is that where you grew up too?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, and you had both parents?
Or yeah, what both was my parents, man. I moved to Virginia, at a similar early age. So I grew up down here with my moms, man, and my stepdad.
Okay, what happened to the real dad?
I mean, he was there, but he wasn't, considering, he did his own thing with he had another side of the family, and, that's just what it was,
You ever thought about reaching back out to him?
Yeah, I mean, he passed away in 2008, so I couldn't reach out to him now.
Oh, so you were still incarcerated while he was...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the most part, my stepdad was there for me, and he did the things that, a real dad's supposed to do. He, taught me how to, be a man, and taught me right from wrong, so much anyway. But he wasn't really a big, person with discipline. He didn't discipline me. So, he pretty much let me do what I do.
When you first got in trouble, man, because I know we all on this YouTube platform, we were all kids and we all done dumb stuff. But what was the first thing where you're like, man?
My first time ever getting in trouble, man, we found a dead body, behind in this ditch. And I didn't know if he was dead or not. So I was kind of kicking him. And we called the police. The police came and we showed them where the body was. So they moved us out the way. I went home and got this Polaroid camera that was my dad's, went around the projects to the other side of the ditch and was taking pictures. And the police, saw the flash or whatever, and they come running after us. That was my first interaction with the law at age 10. And went to, juvie for that for a little while, but ended up getting probation for that. That's where my life of crime started at.
What was the charge for that? Because you
interfering with a potential crime scene,
Oh, okay. Just not know. That's but we were. How old were you?
10.
Oh,
I was a latchkey kid, man, growing up. I don't know if you know what that is, but moms and dad work till 6, 7 o'clock at night. I get off the bus and I let myself in. I pretty much take care of myself until they get home. I was running the streets, doing what I had to do, but fending for myself back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. This was in Hampton. This was where I'm from, down here in Virginia.
Oh, okay. So after you seen the dead body, which I think that right when you said that, I was like, oh crap, you kind of got institutionalized early, with just first of all, you're getting traumatized with the body. You might not have thought it then, but if you look back at it now, it's like whoa, that's an early age to see a dead body, and then you got charged for a crime of just being a kid, not knowing what really you're doing. You're just kicking dust basically, and then it's like they institutionalize you right then. So that's the start of this whole thing.
Yeah, that definitely triggered something in me. And, not saying that I had the best of friends growing up, because the people that I hung out with, you know, they had broken families, you know, single moms, single dads. And, you know, we just pretty much got away with a lot. So, you know, growing up was like a struggle at times for me. And, you know, it didn't help that you know, the company I kept around me was rebellious and doing their own thing. So, you know, I guess, you know, two peas in a pod, I guess, you know.
And now a lot of times in a lot of states, they do a point system with these juveniles where they don't even lock them up on their first offense. What they'll do is they'll rack up a point system and then have enough to go in and arrest them, take them to juvenile. But after that, what was the next thing? And you're like, oh crap, you know, he had to sit down again. Was it another juvenile offense or?
Yeah, man. Me and a bunch of guys went over there and busted up all the new construction and ended up getting snitched out from one of my friends who got in trouble. He brought a bunch of like stuff home and his mom and them found out and he told, and then they called the police and then they found out what we did. And then next thing you know, I ended up getting sent upstate, man, for 11 months for, you know, tearing up like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of property.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah, man.
And you got caught for that?
Yeah, one of my buddies snitched on me, man. And he snitched on it was like 8 or 9 of us, and we all got caught for that.
Okay, and then what did they give you for that?
I got 8 to 11 months. I ended up doing, you know, almost 11 months for that.
And was it like straight juvenile where you're watching movies, or was it like gladiator school juvenile?
It was gladiator school. I went to a place called Beaumont and then left Beaumont and went to Hanover. And then I finished this program at Barrett. So I went to 3 different institutions in 11 months.
Okay, so when you got back out, did you try to like go finish high school, or what did you try to do after that?
No, I didn't, man. I just literally went into the workforce and got a job and started working. And at that time, I think I was about to turn 17, and, you know, things were just, you know, on the up and up. You know, living with moms and my stepdad, he had just gotten sick with cancer, and trying to help him out and trying to do the right thing. But, you know, the streets played a major part in my life growing up, you know, hustling and doing the wrong things. So it's kind of hard to gravitate towards, you know, doing the right thing, but yet the fast money and, you know, living the life that we live growing up, you know, still played a major part because I never, you know, I went right back to the same crowd that I was with before I went locked up, you know.
Yeah, it was like you're trying to find an identity, and then it just, you kept getting, you know, peer pressure is one hell of a thing too, man.
Exactly.
Like, I was trying to prove, like the younger guy trying to prove something to the other guys, and end up getting caught up.
I mean, I was basically just living the life of, you know, trying to do the right thing, but yet my friends was there and following what they were doing and just trying to fit back in, you know. That's basically what I was doing. And it wasn't right. Did I know it was right at the time? I think I may have, but you know what? I didn't care. You know, I would just come home after, you know, doing a little bid as a juvenile. So everybody's looking at me like, you know, I'm some big bad dude. In actuality, I wasn't, you know.
Yeah, I felt like you had to prove yourself, man, right? You just had to go out there and put in work, you know.
Yeah, pretty
much. And this wasn't no like gang stuff. This was just like a crew.
It was a crew, man. It really wasn't that many gangs in the area growing up. It was, you know, neighborhood versus neighborhood versus neighborhood.
Yep, that's exactly how Florida was back in the day. And I swear, as soon as Lil Wayne came out, then I started seeing Bloods. I mean, there's always been Crips in Florida, but
bro, I've been said this many years ago that the Lil Wayne gang brought the Bloods to Virginia, man.
Facts, and we're gonna get into that because you would definitely have a lot of experience in Virginia and Florida. But when it comes to, so after you were, you know, messing around the streets, what led you to go back to jail for the 3rd time?
Hotel that used to be here called the Radisson, and they got a big old wharf there, you know, and, you know, a dock and $1 million boats and all that stuff. So we were walking on the docks and stuff, and I seen this boat. It was started. It was like, you know what I mean, just sitting there, just idly running. So we jump on the boat. Nobody's on the boat. So I tell everybody, let's go, man. This is my uncle's boat, you know. And it wasn't. And we took the boat out, and you know, I already knew how to ride, you know, drive boats and stuff from my uncle, you know. and we took it out through the channel all the way out to the bridge tunnel. And next thing you know, probably like 30, 40 minutes later, we see these spotlights come in, and it's the harbor police. They're shining the lights on us, talking about, keep your hands up. They're going to aboard the vessel, and next thing you know, we go to jail. And I take the rap for everything. I get an unauthorized use of a boat. And from there, man, I go to jail. And I was already on probation for another unrelated charge I didn't go to jail for. So it was on like a Friday. I was like, man, I got to get out of jail. Like every Monday, the POs, they run a check over the weekend to see who's locked up, like coordinate to see if anybody that's locked up is on probation or parole. And I was like, nah, I got to get out before Monday. And one of my ex-girlfriends, they come and got me out. And I left from there and went straight to Miami. I was like, man, I got to go. I had a homeboy living in Miami, him and his wife. I was like, man, I got to go. I called him up. It's like, hey, man, can I come down there? He was like, yeah. So I went down there, and the rest is history, man.
So you went on the run to Miami.
Yeah, probably the worst place ever. I look back at it, and I was like, man, the most I could have faced for that unauthorized use of a boat was like 5 years plus 2 years that was over my head for this probation violation. So I would have been out of prison before then.
So this is about 18 years old you did this?
Yeah, no, this was when I was 23.
Okay, 23. So
yeah.
What part of Miami were you in?
I was in Wynwood, man, 35th and 2nd Ave, man, right across the street from Roberto Clemente Park.
And it was the trenches.
It was the trenches, bro. I was like, me and my homeboy were like the only white guys in this whole neighborhood. So
how'd you get treated when you first got there? Were they like, whoa?
No, it wasn't even like that. It was like, I don't know if you know you're from down south, so you already know, like the down south Spanish population, they're pretty much how can I say this correctly? They trust the white man versus other races. You know what I mean? So like I fit in where I got in. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep, they take you in. Yep, I grew up with Hispanics. They just take you right in. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking we had someone else on the streets, and they were talking about their experience in Florida and how they got ran out the hood. But I know for a fact there had to be something underlining there. They're not just going to act like that.
No, they're not. It depends where you go, because I've been through Carroll City. I've been through all those neighborhoods and then blocks that the person in which you were talking about. And, it does happen, Overtown, all them places, man, they do not like, the white race coming in there. But I will tell you this, because I've been there. I've been through Carroll City. I've been to Overtown. I've been through Hialeah. I've been through, all them trenches, man. If you're in there and you're my color and you're buying drugs, man, they don't care. They'll let you in. They'll let you out. They just see the money, because before you even enter, it's going to be 20 people, 30 people trying to sell you dope, regardless of the fact they're just trying to get your money and get you up out of there. I don't know how it is now, but when I was back there in the early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, that's how it was, man. I never had any static. I didn't have any problems. I could walk in, get my dope, left, and dip.
Was you doing, were you just hustling when you were in Florida, or were you trying to work, or what was going on?
Listen, I had a habit. There's I had a habit, but at the end of the day, I was a born hustler anyway. So in order to support my habit, I hustled, man. I did a little skid bid in Virginia, man, for some unrelated stuff, me and a couple of homeboys, one of his girlfriends worked at this place called West Telemarketing, got a bunch of credit cards. We took the credit card numbers that they got. It was a whole sheet of them. We was ordering everything from JCPenney to Spiegel to QVC, and I ended up getting trapped up in that, and got a bunch of forgeries and utterings and went to prison for that.
Oh, so you were the one of the original scammers, because that ended up being like a thing.
Original, like, listen, man, yeah, because my dad, I remember I came home one day, my dad had his letter in the hand, he's like, they're coming for you, boy. They're coming for you. I don't know what it was, but like, I had it so down pat, you know, I'm not glorifying this, so y'all don't think I'm glorifying it, but I had it so down pat. UPS man be at my house at a certain time, overnight delivery, and, you know, at that time, I don't know, and one had just come out. And like I had all the N1 outfits, shoes, you know, all the old types of, you
And
know,
this is
retro
before
shit.
N1 went to Walmart, Kmart. This is N1
Oh
when it was a
yeah,
brand.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
exactly. Because we were ordering from East Bay, you know what I mean, and we can get them overnight delivery. And I had everybody in the neighborhood, all my homeboys. We had like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kicks a piece, you know. So, but yeah, it was a good time. But you know, we were breaking the law. And looking back at it, I just wish that I would have been a different, you know, person back then.
So the time in Miami is not when you caught your charge to go to prison in Florida.
No, yeah. I caught my charge in Miami. When I
Oh,
moved to
okay.
Miami, I was down in Miami, and I went to work, got involved with an individual, and you know, that was supposed to be my sidekick. You know, we got high together, we did what we did, and you know. Shit went down south, man, and you know, over just $6,000, man. You know, a transaction, you know, over the course of a period of time, you know, money stacked up, whatever the case may be, and that's how I ate. That's how I survived. You know, and $6,000 caused me to take a life, man, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Um, I wish I wouldn't have done what I did. But just over measly $6,000, it could have been avoided. Like, I wish I would have walked away. It cost me almost 25 years of my life, and you know, it's nothing to brag about for anybody that's out there watching this video. You know, if you think you're going to take someone's life over something, man, just think twice about it. You don't want to go to prison. You don't want to ruin your life. You don't want to ruin your victim's family life. You know, because you know you're losing all around the board, bro.
So going in, so that was always something I admired you on these interviews, because you always talk about, and in the beginning intro, people can hear that too. You always have, you know, you have a lot of real feelings for the victim and the family. Like the family always been on your side too. I've always heard that. I always heard like the family wrote to you, and they, you know, they wanted you to be free. They knew some of the situations their son was in. They loved their son, but they also, you know, they cared about you, bro. You know?
Yeah, it's like this, man. You know, without my victim's family, at the very least, I probably would be serving a life sentence. You know, when I first came in the system, I was facing the death penalty. There's no, you know, whatever. You can pull my paperwork. I was facing the death penalty. And it was because of them that went to the prosecutor and was like, look, man, we don't want him to get the death penalty. You know, and they saved me from that, you know, and ultimately they saved me from a life sentence. You know, I went through a bunch of plea bargaining agreements, you know, like being in Dade County, going to court is like a joke because like they play with you, they toy with you. And, you know, you got to listen to, if you're in the jail and you're down there and you're facing serious time, you listen to the inmates that are in there, bro. Because like a lot of them guys know that system and know how they operate. So I'm talking to people, not explaining my case, whatever that is, but like they're saying, look, don't take that plea, don't take that plea. Like they offered me 60 years to begin with, and then kept offering me intermittently, you know, time, and I'm like, no, I'm not taking that. But the minute that the prosecutor told me, he's like, look, you take this or you're gonna get a life sentence. I was like, look, hands up in the air, you know.
And
I'll take that.
How much they give you?
25 years, man.
25 years, and you were in Dade County. You were at the Dade County jail.
I went to the Dade County jail, started there, went from there to the stockade, and I spent the whole rest of my time in the stockade until I went to prison. And stockade is the dungeons, bro.
Oh, okay, that's like, okay, yeah. And where's that located at?
I don't know exactly like where it's located at, but the stockade is like. it's like nothing but cell blocks on the outside. You know, you got your doors on the outside.
Oh,
Everything's
okay.
outside. There's no inside. You walk in and you see these wings. No, everything's on the outside. You got one little guard shack outside, and everything's there's doors that open the door from the outside, and you see the outside, and you see that, and you're in there with like 35, 40 other people, and you know it's just you could be getting beat to death in there, and the police are like 200 yards down the way. You know what I mean? There's no police in there. There may be cameras. They may not even work, But I fit in where I got in. Everybody called me Virginia. That was my nickname in there. It was all right, And, I met some good people in there that I still keep in contact with today.
And then, so how long were you in until the case got resolved? Till you got sentenced?
A little over a year. I could have took it to trial, like I said, but at the end of the day, when they offered me that last plea, I went ahead and said, "Look, let me talk to my moms." I talked to my moms. They gave me 24 hours. I ended up calling my attorney the following day and was like, "Look, let's go. Let's do it." They put me back on the docket. I signed the paperwork, and within 5 days, I was sitting in a South Florida reception center.
Eventually landed in Lake CI.
Oh yeah, I've been to Lake CI. I've been to Martin. I've been to Tomoka. Where else was I at? Tomoka. I went to Taylor CI. I've been all over Florida, man. They give you the bus tour when you got a lot of time. The bus tour is like very convenient for them. They don't want you to get comfortable.
Yeah. Did you request to leave any of them, or they were just sending you?
No. The only time I requested to leave when I was at Columbia CI, and that's when I put in for my interstate compact to be transferred to Virginia.
Oh, got you.
Yeah,
just to finish it all in Virginia.
Yeah. That's how I got from Florida to Virginia under a family reunification transfer.
So how was the time in Florida? So I know it has to be kind of intimidating. I know from what I've always heard, white people are the minority. And it's hard because, you go in there as a neutron. You're not part of an organization. So how did they treat you at first?
I mean, I've always been, I'm not going to say a chameleon, but I've always been that person that can read people very well. And I know how to adapt to certain situations. So going into Florida prison system, I wasn't worried. I wasn't scared. I've already heard the rumors in the jail, how the prison system is this, that. True indeed, it is this, that, and this and that. It's very violent. It's very vocal. It's very hands-on, but it's how you individually carry yourself. I don't care what anybody says, whoever, it's how you carry yourself. If you're going to go in as a bitch boy, guess what? You're going to be a bitch boy. If you stand up for yourself, you know what I'm saying? You might have a few altercations, but people are going to see that you stand up for yourself, and you're going to be all right. My first day in prison, when I landed my first spread, I was fighting within an hour and a half over the phone. Dude hung the phone up on me. It's how you carry yourself anywhere you go. If you're a man and you stand up with your chin held high, you're going to be all right. You might have some people that are going to try you, but at the end of the day, bro, you're going to be okay. People are going to respect you for you as a man. But you go in with that other mentality or whatever, you want to be a shiesty individual, you want to go run debts up in prison, you're going to get treated that way. If you're going there and you doing you and you minding your own business first and foremost, walk fast, talk slow. Those are the fucking words that I've learned all my life in prison. Walk fast, talk slow. You're going to be all right, man. You're going to be able to carry yourself just the way you are. That's
walk
how it
fast,
is,
talk slow. I like that, man.
I heard that from a dude named Jerry Rutledge, who was on death row in the Florida prison system. And he got off death row when they abolished death row in 1972.
The Florida lingo was you were hearing that all through there, right? It's all like
listen, yeah, basura, listen.
Bet, a lot of people say bet came from Florida. Bet and jitterbug, jit,
bet.
Motion. I don't know if you ever heard that motion. Do they say motion a lot?
Yeah, motion. Yeah.
Yep, that's definitely a Florida term too. So did you make Florida? Were they trying to recruit you like gangs?
I mean, I listen, man. I'm not even gonna bullshit with you. Yeah, you know
I
the
heard that a
GD.
lot, especially
Yeah, the
people they
GDs,
see.
man. Like I hung out with, like, listen, I didn't care what you were. At the end of the day, I looked at you as an individual. Okay, you might have been a part of an organization. You might did what you did. So yeah, like I was close knit with a lot of the different organizations in there. The GDs, the Gangster Disciples, you know what I'm saying? They pulled up on me, because they seen how I operated, seeing how I walked. They tried, they tried. I had some good homeboys, I respect them 100%, but that's just not who I am. Like, I stand alone, man. I don't need you to fight my battles. I don't need you for protection. I don't need any of that because, solo, I'm okay by myself. Why? Because I'm me. I'm just who I am. I'm not no Billy Badass, but at the end of the day, I know how to handle my own. You know,
How was okay? So, and this is more of a question for me because because when it comes to Florida and the prison, the prison genre, I know you're from Virginia, but going to Florida, we're going to put you in that category as well because you experienced the Florida prison. Now, when it comes to paperwork, are they strict on paperwork in the Florida system?
I'm gonna say not really. Especially when I was there, not really, unless a situation arose, and yeah, then you would present. But I was also in Florida prison system when the website first came, like, very prevalent. Like the Florida FLDOC.gov.us, when that
Mm-hmm.
became, like, prevalent. So that was in the age of when JPay first came out, because, like, back when I first fell in the system, there was no JPay. If you've been to prison, you know what JPay is, or like Securus and all that shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't there. That was a few years after I came to prison. So, like, only way you could get money was like money orders through Tallahassee and all that stuff. So, like, when the FLDOC website popped up and you could go online and you can just get someone's DC number and pull them up and then have your family print out a print sheet and send it to you. Yeah, paperwork started becoming prevalent then. That was back then. And anybody that's watching this that wants to dispute it, I'm going to say you're a fucking liar.
Yeah, I've only experienced JPay from the other end. I've never been to prison. I've always
Yeah.
experienced from putting money on it and, sending stamps to get buying the stamps.
Yeah. Well, stamp is always going to be commodity in prison because everybody uses stamps to write their family. But now, it is commodity as well, but, the age of the emails and all that stuff. So some people don't send stamps, but they're still commodity. Members turn around and go right back to the post office and these other places and cash them in. Because through the U.S. Postal Service, if you get a full book of stamps, you can go right back to them and they'll give you the credit for what the book of stamps is worth.
Is there such thing as booty bandits in the Florida system?
Oh my God, yes, there are. There's lots of booty bandits in Florida. Lots of booty bandits. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And
when
then
I was there, yes.
So I know that they send some of the chomos to Avon Park, but have you experienced that any chomos get smashed out the yard or anything like that?
Yeah, me and my homeboy Jit used to smash it. Me, homeboy Jit, Ralphie, and King. Shout out to all them. They're still in prison except for Jit. We had a fucking terror dome when I was at Lake CI and at Tomoka CI. We used to go around smashing chomos. You know what I mean? It was like a ritual thing, man. Doing devious things, just did not care, extorting them, doing the whole 9 yards. I've been on that side of the ball game doing that. I mean, is it right? Is it wrong? I'm not going to say what I'm saying? I'm not going to say what it was. Did I enjoy doing it at the time? Yeah, fuck you, you fuck boy. That's
God
what I
bless
think
you.
about it.
No, God bless your soul. You did God's work. You did God's work, brother.
Yes.
Because the Florida system doesn't have an S&Y yard. They don't have, the Florida system doesn't have, they have Avon Park where they'll send a lot of chomos and stuff, but they don't have many of them. So they have to be they're in regular prison systems. And PC or whatever,
They are, and I tell you what, in Florida prison system, they got a worse rap and a harder time than they did in Virginia. Yeah, by far. By far.
Then the last Florida prison question is, was there anything like AB, which I know there isn't AB, but did you see skinheads?
No, I didn't see no skinheads. I think I ran across a couple ABs, but the majority of the white gangs that were down there were the Unforgiven, and they weren't really that prevalent, you know, so to speak. You know, it wasn't that. If you've seen a bunch of white guys that were in gangs, a lot of them were in the GDs, man. You know, straight up talking. And, you know, and those were the solid ones, and wasn't no fuck boys, no pussy boys. That's for sure. And I'll tell it how it is.
So you put in that request to go to Virginia.
Exactly.
And they sent. And how long did that take for them to finally, you know, go ahead and send you on over there?
Like sweeping it under the rug. But like I had a homeboy, Dan Law, he's right now in Florida prison system. Dan Lonergan. Daniel Lonergan. Anybody sees that, look him up on the website, drop him a line. He's got a life sentence. He'll never go home. This guy stepped up, man, when I was really frustrated on the yard. He's seen that, you know, I was, you know, going through it. So he pulls up on me. He was like, "What's up, Woody, man? What's going on?" I explained to him that these fuck boys in classification are doing me wrong, and I can't get back home, man. I've already fit every little criteria to be sent home on an interstate correction compact agreement. So he wrote a letter for me, man, typed it up, had it all nice. We made like 50 copies of the shit, put them in envelopes, mailed them out as if my mother had wrote them to these different congressmen and senators and, like, you know, mayors and everything in my area. And, you know, I had one that bit, and he bit real hard. He was like, "Man, you're my constituent. I'm going to help you. Fill out this paperwork." And from that point on, it took me 19 months. I was home.
19 months, man. And how did it feel to finally get back home, even though you're still in the system, but you're home?
Bro, I came home November 10th of 2010. Christmas Day, it was snowing. I prayed for a snow on Christmas Day. I was on the rec yard doing snow angels at Powhatan. Powhatan Correctional Center. I was there fucking doing snow angel. I was loving it, bro.
You like the cold better than the heat. You didn't like that Florida heat, huh?
I mean, I got used to the Florida heat. It ain't so much the Florida heat that bothered me. It's just, you know, the humidity. I have asthma, so, you know, the humidity gets to you. But then, like, being at a prison, they have no air conditionings down in Florida. You know, I had went to a couple that had, like, the geothermal systems, like the new annexes they had built. But, like, all the main prisons at that time did not have air conditionings. It was hot as fuck, bro. I'm talking about, like, you sleep in your boxers. You fucking, it's hot, it's sweaty. You know, it's hot, bro.
And so once you get to Virginia, how long were you there for you finally were eventually let go?
I spent almost 12 years in Virginia prison system, man. I spent my first 9 years, 3 months in Florida, and my last 12 years, 13 years in Virginia, man.
Yep. And the Virginia experience was better? Because you're closer to family, obviously.
The attitudes of my camaraderies, you know, my comrades are better. It's because of the programming and the, you know, I didn't have to deal with the nuances of trying to wait on a waiting list to get into a program because I had a Buck Rogers date. Like, the Virginia conforms to more of keeping you from being on the recidivism rate, you know, going home. They believe in more programming. They don't believe in warehousing like Florida. You know what I mean? You sign up for a program, you sign up for a trade, you're going to get into it. I don't care how much time you got. Versus in Florida, you know, you got all this time. They don't give a crap. They're going to put you on a waiting list, and you may never see a classroom. You may never see getting into your GD. It's just so hard down there. At least when I was down there, it was really hard to get into a program. They didn't have drug programs like they had. They didn't have anger management. They didn't have all that stuff. But Virginia, when I got there, they facilitated to your actual needs that try to help you be a better productive citizen when you go home. And I respect Virginia for that.
And then at what point did Jay Williams become your cellie, which is even crazy saying this? I keep forgetting that because you have a crazy story. And for you to link with him and both your stories coming together and him putting you on essentially to YouTube, bro, this is a full circle moment. It's just, what year was that where you finally met Jay Williams himself?
I met him in 2011. I got transferred from Powhatan to Sussex. I stayed at Sussex about 3.5 months. I wasn't really supposed to be there. That was a level 5 prison. I had done all this time, and they put me at like a supermax prison. So from there, I got my family. They kept calling, headquarters in Richmond, and they dropped my level to a level 3. When I went to a level 3, they transferred me to Greensville Correctional Center. I got out of my building. I went to like the orientation building, then I went to like building 1. I was in building 1, which is like Greensville. If you've heard Jay talk about it, Greensville is the biggest prison probably on the East Coast. Like, it has almost 6,000 inmates, but they have them broke up in like 3 different sections. And you could be at this prison for 30 years and you could see your homeboy the first day and you may never see him again at all. So I was all the way over in 1 building. They shut our buildings down one at a time to put air conditioning in because the federal government said that all prisons in America had to have air conditioning. So they shut my building down. They transferred me across the yard to S3, and I go into gangland. When I tell you I'm in gangland, I'm in I'm in gangland times 100. Like, everybody in my pod comes out of the hole, or they're all just straight gang banging. Like, every day there's something going on. Like, I just chilled out and just did me. Like I told you, I've really never had no friction in prison, man. I've been in fights, don't get me wrong. I've been in incidents. I've been in situations. But, like, for the most part, they just like me. I'm a generally likable guy. So one day I'm sitting in my, cell, and the dude next door to me, his slider door won't work. And it's like 7 o'clock at night. And I see this white guy with these big ass plugs in his ears. Because at the time, Jay had these plugs in his ears. And so I'm like, yo, what's up, man? What you doing? He's like, I'm fixing the door, man. So me and him getting to talking and shit. He's up there in the box fixing the door and shit. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, man, I'm trying to get to a different place, man. We had already talked for like 45 minutes, and I'm vibing with him. He's like, my cell's open, man. I get you moved down there. He says, man, go in your cell, write your name and number down, man. I'm gonna get you moved over in my cell. So I'm thinking, like, yeah, right. Yeah, this bitch ain't gonna get me moved. Man, about 10 o'clock in the morning, I hear my name, my door pop, my name called. He's like, come to the booth. He's like, man, you're moving downstairs to cell 219, man, and 200 pod. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you're moving. So I moved down there, and that was the start of me and Jay, man.
That is crazy how he could just pull that right there.
Bro, Jay had so much pull in this prison, bro. He was like the man. He was like he was the man. Like, he could just do everything. We had cable at our prison, and during their cable package had like Showtime and Cinemax and all that shit. But the institution would put these filters on these shit so they can like block out these major channels. Well, Jay, he knows where all the filters were at. He would go in downstairs in the basement, undo the filters, and put different filters on them so where we could watch Skinemax, Co-Ed Confidentials, porn, all that shit on the TV and shit, And, yeah, he was like the man. You asked him for anything, he can get it. He was like Red in Shawshank Redemption.
How long was he previously there? Was he there a long time, too?
Years. Like almost 8-9 years, maybe. He had already been established there. Everybody knew him. He was well respected, well liked. He was the tattoo man. He was just like the go-to guy. You needed something, you went to Jay, man. Jay would help you out. If he couldn't do it, he would definitely point you in the right direction. That was my guy, man.
You said, I remember you saying that before, that he'd done most of your tattoos, right?
Yeah, he did a lot of all my tattoos. I ain't gonna take my shirt off, but yeah, he did my whole chest, man, my arms, everything, man. Yeah, that's my guy, man.
And then the days were, so who left first?
I mean, I know he left first. All right, I think he thinks I left first, but he left first. He needed to go to medical, so I went to medical that day, and they call him out to work. While he's out to work, his boss tells him, like, hey, man, you're getting transferred. So when he comes back, at the end of the day, he had a sad look on his face. I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, man, I got the news today. I'm leaving tomorrow. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, my boss come and told me, leaving and shit. I was like, ain't no fucking way, man. And he ended up getting transferred. I ended up putting in for transfer closer to my house. So, because my mom, you know, I had an incident with her. She was in a wheelchair at the time, so I had an incident in the visiting room with her and her oxygen, the oxygen tanks. I went off in the visiting room, got slammed on my head by the police, almost went to the whole 9 yards, man. And it was an uprising in the visiting room with all the visitors' family. My mom left on an ambulance. I put in for a transfer and ended up getting transferred close to home and did my last, you know, time there.
Is your mom still alive today?
No, she passed away in 2017, so I lost both my mom and my dad while I was incarcerated.
Man, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, man. It was rough, man. You know, I didn't get to go, you know, to either one of them's funeral. Florida really, like, was a bitch boy in this situation. They wouldn't let me go. So, you know what? What can I do, man?
So at this time, when you were in the Virginia system, was the original victim for the charge, were they still writing you and stuff too?
I mean, yeah, from time to time. It was my victim's cousins. My victim's family was from another country, so their immediate family was from another country, and his relatives used to write me. And one of my victim's family is a pastor down in Florida somewhere.
Oh, okay, so now it's coming up to you getting out. Well, you know, how happy were you when you finally got to go home? Because obviously Jay Williams got out first after he got transferred, but
yeah,
you know, you get to come home now, man. How was that?
It was wonderful. You know, like, I just never thought that my day would ever get here. And, you know, once it came, it was getting closer and closer. I was getting antsy. You know, how fuck boys work. Either system, man, somebody dropped a note on me. I used to be the guy that used to go from one side of, I had a big building that I was in at the prison I was at. And I was the chemical guy. So, like, I brought all the chemicals around to all the buildings. And I also cleaned, like, the unit manager's office, all the counselor's office. And people were really jealous that, one, a white guy had a position like this. But, like, I was the maintenance man in the kitchen for almost 9 years. You know what I mean? So, like, when it came time for me to go in the reentry pod, I go over to this building and I get the best job in the building. So everybody else was so really, like, you know, punch drunk or whatever, that a white boy was able to get this position. And, you know, I had access to all the hustling and moving this, moving that, you know what I'm saying? Getting cash apps, you know what I'm saying? Making a lot of money. And so somebody drops a kite on me. So I get caught, you know, on camera moving some commissary and a bunch of other things. And so I go to the hole like the last 30 days of my bid. I mean, so, you know, shit happens. It was crazy, man. I went to the hole for 30 days right before I'm going home. I'm like, fuck it. This is time to get my head right. I'm good. Fuck y'all. Fuck this place. I'm going home. You know, but they let me out like 2 days and they sent me all the way clear across the yard. So it is what it is, man. I got to go home, and it was a wonderful thing. My nephew was there to pick me up, and you know, the rest is history, man.
Now it's new life with Woody, and did you know that when you were locked up, did you know Jay Williams was a big YouTuber that is like famous?
The crazy thing is that I knew he was doing YouTube, but I didn't know to the extent. And I was talking to one of the police there, and he was like, "Man, I'm subscribed to him." And he like takes the computer and he shows me his video. I'm like watching his videos from the little bean flap on the officer stations. So like every time he would come up, I would be watching his videos. I'd sit up there for like 2 hours watching videos and shit.
Dude, you're like, dude, I know this guy, man.
I know. I told him I knew him, and then I told him, I was like, "Look, man, I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna get interviewed by Jay, and I'm gonna start my own channel." And right now, if you watch it, if he watching this, because he watches all the prison content, he's no longer a CO. If he's watching, I told him, you know what I'm saying, that I was gonna do it, and he became one of my subscribers, man. He had sent me a couple messages and shit, and it's like, "Man, I knew you would do it, man." And he's there. You know what I mean? So shout out to you. I ain't gonna say your name, but you know.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, we're gonna do another one with AZ too, because I want AZ to be here. Shout out to AZ, had an emergency, but
shout out AZ, man.
Hey, we're gonna do it because listen, I want to get into COs too from the Florida into Virginia system, and because we really didn't get into that, but man, your story is this is what I always said, man. When it comes to being reformed, I think you are the prime example. You are something that people need to look up to when it comes to coming out home. Your name says it right there, new life. You know, you're living this new life, bro. And we'll get into your paintings too, because you're putting a lot of. Was you doing that in prison too? Was you drawing in prison?
Yeah, I was painting and drawing in prison. I'm flying out to a big art exhibit in Atlanta next month, so I've been invited out to that. It's going to be an experience. It's my first time ever on a plane. I'm nervous, and I'm looking forward to it.
You thought about doing a book too, because I think that would be great. I know you don't. I know that's hard to talk about the original crime, but I think a book, and then dude, it's like your life's a movie, bro. When you break it down,
I've thought about a book. Maybe that would be in the work, but I told you today on the phone that I got a phone call from Ian Bick.
Oh man, you let it down, man.
Yeah,
dude, that is huge.
I've already did an interview with JD DeLay. He's about to post a video out soon. I've already done a video with Blood on the Razor Wire, and now Ian Bick, man. So I'm trying to make the circle around to people, man, and get more notoriety.
No, you're blessing us, man. You don't have to ever. This is the thing. We're a small channel, and you're blessing us, Woody. We appreciate you. We really do.
Man.
Ronnie from
I
Ronnie
look up
Blue Eyes.
To y'all. I look up to y'all, man. Like I enjoy when the notification comes on that y'all are on, man. I like watching y'all.
Yeah, man, we're newer. We just like covering it. We're drama. I know you probably like sit back watching the drama.
I be laughing. I laugh, especially when AZ's not on the panel and he's in the comments. I just be dying some of the shit he be saying.
Yeah, no, yeah. I know, man. YouTube journey, Jay Williams put you on, but Jay Williams went through a situation himself, and you had to step in and step up, and because he couldn't trust nobody, obviously. He look at the people. I'm being real. He's put on this other dude named Prison Stories with Domi, and he put on Big Lance. Not even us. To a certain point, he's helped us a lot, bro. This channel he's put on, definitely. This channel he put on his back, and he shared it at the gig before we even had a video out. You know what I'm saying? So I owe a lot to him. You know what I mean? But what you did for him while he was locked up, dude, he couldn't trust nobody.
Yeah.
And you were there for him, man.
I caught a lot of flack for that, man. A lot of trolls was saying I was clout chasing, I was doing that, but they don't know the inside. I'm talking to Jay almost every single day. We're either emailing back and forth or he's calling me on the phone. But this was something that he wanted to do. He wanted me to put it out there and me to give these messages. So these things that I was saying was being blessed by him first and foremost. People would say I'm clout chasing, whatever the case may be. But look, I'm blessed to have him as a friend. That's like my brother. And if he asked me to do something within realms, I'm going to do that. I'm going to help facilitate something to get something out there for him. Not only because he's just, who he is, a big YouTuber, but because first and foremost, he's a man and he's my friend. He's my brother.
He's doing what he was supposed to do by putting you on, bro. That what I'm saying? Well, he don't have to do it, but it looks really good when you have, you put it on paper, right? You look at these other guys like Def, he put some people on, but there's other prison guys that they never will even share another prison channel. They don't want to get surpassed. Jay doesn't care about that. He actually wants all those guys he put on to pass him. Even Lance. Was you locked up with Lance too or no?
I mean, I might have did time at the same time he did, but I've never crossed paths with him. No.
What about Minor Mouse?
I was at Greensville the same time he was. I may have I think I remember seeing him, but I've never conversed with him. I don't know him face to face, and I'm glad I don't.
You stayed out the mix very well, Woody. You did your time like a boss.
Yeah, man.
You gotta do that shit, dude. You gotta do that shit. You're right here, man. And I don't know, dude. You have a good energy and aura about you.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I really do, man.
Yeah, you be killing it. But yeah, man, YouTube streets, bro. New Life with Woody. We just did a freaking hour, bro. We're gonna do more, man. I can't wait to see the JD Delay interview. I can't wait till you go to Ian Bick. That's gonna be an adventure.
Yeah, because I'm gonna ask Ian Bick while I'm up there, man. I'm gonna look tit for tat. Let me go ahead and interview you as well. I'll let you drop your video first, and then and then I'm gonna drop me one of Ian Bick on my channel.
Yes, hey, ask him this. Somebody, are you gonna fight Jumpsuit Pablo? Yeah, because them two are at a war right now.
Hey man, that's fake, man. I think it's fake. I think I know. But, yeah, I'd like to see him fight though.